killed Ugandans in the last 40 years. I'll talk about the son to the junta of Uganda, the dictator Museveni. In 1993, the junta's son, Muhoozi, came to UK to study in one of your universities, Nottingham. He failed in the first 3 weeks and he was let to go. I was doing my first degree then. So that's how dense you sponsor somebody. He went on to go to Sandhurst and he's picked up skills that torture and kill and maim Ugandans. Why we the Ugandans are here is to tell you, stop UK funding to our death. You've trained the army that kills Ugandans. You've done much evil. Museveni has done a lot of evil that we, if compared with Idi Amin, it makes Idi Amin an angel. This doesn't sound right, but Museveni has killed more Ugandans than any other leader. He's been in power for 40 years. The son represents murder. He's killed a lot of us. He's done, maimed, castrated, done worse evil than I can say here. I want to polish up my language. I would have said so. Museveni of Uganda has killed, corruption is the password in Uganda. He embezzles money. He is helped by the UK Parliament. In the House of Lords is a fake bishop called Bishop Sentamu, who is behind the racketeering of money from Uganda to here. Then he is aided by Lord Puppet. Lord Puppet and fake Bishop Sentamu both are behind stealing grants from UK, which are sent to Uganda. Then the dictator in Uganda siphons the money back to UK. While we are here, we are not asking for funds. We want you to do the best intervention to stop funding the dictator. Stop funding the dictator. We as the opposition, we who want to take down the dictator of Uganda, Museveni, can do that. If you thought Putin was in power, has been in power for 22 years, our dictator has been in power for 40 years. He has won elections, which we call selections, 6 times. And in January next year, he's winning another 7th time. He's no different from the man from Belarus. He's no different from the man in Russia. All we hear of is Belarus is bad. Putin is bad. You never talk about the junta in Uganda, Museveni. He's murdered more people than Putin. Yet the papers, the BBC, the media, the Sky News never talks about him. If they do talk about Uganda, it's an elephant has given to 2 babies. A giraffe climbed a tree. That's the only news you get to see here. You never hear about Uganda. A lion has killed tourists. Why do you put animal rights before human rights? You don't care an inch. We are people. He's killed us. We are shouting from the rooftop, telling you, stop funding. You don't have to give those funds to us. We are well resourced in Uganda. People you see here are doctors, engineers, professors, lawyers. We make a good clique that can develop Uganda. Uganda is a failed state. There is no institutions. The institutions that are there seem like a monarchy. The president, the junta in Uganda is the president. His son is the commander-in-chief. His brother is the Minister of Defense. The wife is Minister of Education. All the daughters are ministers. And we have a small monarchy. For 40 years, the junta in Uganda has gone unhindered. Come fast forward. We thought Labour came to power so they would get to stop the human rights abuse. Knowing that Starmer is a lawyer who specializes in human rights. But Starmer has done worse than Boris. His business as usual. He works on gold mining and other precious minerals. The only thing they do is to pat the dictator. Come on, keep going. The dictator has killed us. He's murdered us. He's castrated. He's killed women. He's killed sons. He's killed daughters. And he's still killing. And UK keeps funding him £1 billion every year and trains the army that kills us. He's killed us all the time. We've shouted, we've done this in Brussels, we've done this in the United States. Nobody is listening. Stop funding our death. You sponsor our death. You pay the boots that kick us. You pay for the guns that shoot us. Stop funding. We don't want any intervention other than stop facilitating our death. NUP everywhere. NUP everywhere. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. NUP everywhere. Thank you for listening.
Yes, my dear tourists who are enjoying the life in the UK. I wish this was Uganda.
Go and use that. I'm going to say
You let me on daily basis. But in Uganda, I am being murdered on daily basis. We are we used to get that the Americans are using techniques against human rights. One of them is waterboarding. Now this is a common thing in Uganda. The t-shirt I'm wearing is one of the by the name of Ekiri. He was kidnapped 10 days back. And the torture has gone through. Waterboarding is one of them. That is Uganda. That is from Sandhurst. The reason why I said from Sandhurst is because the CDF, the commander of the Uganda forces, he was trained in Sandhurst. And it was him and his men who tortured Edmund in his bunker, underneath his mansion. This is the country. These are the people you are supporting, you are training, you are financing a brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda. We will stand here and expose. This is one of them. The murderers in Uganda. Sandhurst train is now a monster in Uganda. W. Christophe. When we talk about W. Christophe, we are talking about Muhoozi Kainerugaba. It's a clique of bandits who have been trained in Sandhurst in the UK. They've been trained to torture Ugandans. They've been trained to rape Ugandans. They've been trained to kidnap Ugandans. They've been trained to sodomize Ugandans. And these are all trained in the UK. And
you don't have to stand in the same place with the flag.
And we are calling on
Good.
the UK government to stop the training of military thugs, of military soldiers from Uganda. Because as we stand here, we've got Ugandans who are being tortured in the so-called safe house, what we call death torture chambers. These are underground bunkers. We used to hear this during the First and Second World War under Hitler. Now it's happening in Uganda. Under the junta, Museveni, a 40-year-old ruler, a junta who has been in power for 40 years now. Most of you were not born, and this brutal man is still in Uganda, brutalizing Ugandans, while the UK sends £1 billion to support the same dictator. You can't play double standards. You talk about democracy and human rights, and you are supporting a brutal dictator, a junta, Museveni of Uganda. 40 years is more than enough. You can't call 40 years democracy. In the UK, we've changed 13 prime minister. In America, we've changed 7 presidents. But in Uganda, we are still living under the same brutal dictator, Museveni, the junta of Uganda. The UK government should be ashamed when they talk about human rights. The UK should be ashamed when they talk about democracy. While they are supporting brutal dictators around the world, mainly in Africa and most in Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
We are professionals. We do work. We pay our tax. But I wouldn't like my tax money to be sent to Uganda to torture Ugandans. My tax money should stay in the UK. That £1 billion the UK government sent to Uganda should be helping us on housing. They should be helping our policemen to get a good wage.
Don't talk.
Than to be on minimum wage.
When I put this
People power. Our power. We've just started today and we'll be calling particular Mr. Lavin, a man who has gone against his promise to Ugandans that when Labour come to power, they were going to deal with the brutal dictator Uganda, Museveni of Uganda. They've ruled. Labour robbed me of my vote. I thought by voting Labour and get justice. I've been a conservative all my life. But the last elections, I thought, let me change. Let me see if Labour, they'll get out this brutal dictator from Uganda. At least the conservative did something against this brutal dictator of Uganda. They sanctioned the Speaker of Parliament and 2 junior ministers, unlike the Labour government under Keir Starmer. It's all normal. They are busy dealing. They are busy signing. Get the business deal. Gold for Ugandans' lives. Petrol for the raping of Ugandans. They are taking out our resources with no accountability because they are supporting a brutal dictator. Who will they give £1 billion with no accountability? So it's normal for the UK government to send £1 billion to the dictator in Uganda every year. And in return, the UK government is robbing the natural resources of Uganda. It's true, you look at me in a suit. You are training murderers in Uganda. This man is a third-half trained, you call it a military personnel, or we call it a military thug. A man who is a brutal monster right now in Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
The t-shirt I'm wearing, these are all our colleagues who have been missing. Some are 5 years. They have not been seen. They were kidnapped by the government militia officials after the elections. They are missing. Missing. Here. This is not science fiction. This is your life in Uganda. Under this brutal dictatorship, a what years cannot be democracy. No. And I cannot believe a civilized country, my country, the UK, supports dictators around the world and made him Museveni of Uganda. They are bailing him out with £1 billion every year. For the last 40 years, you can't put $1 billion have been sent to Uganda. But it's the same Uganda. We don't have a functioning hospital. when the so-called officials from the government of the junta, they come to the UK for medical tourism, but every year the UK government is sending 1 billion. It's only in Uganda where we don't have hospitals, but we've got prisons. It's only in Uganda where we don't have ambulances, but we've got thousands and thousands of military patrol cars. It's only in Uganda where Ugandans cannot afford a 1 pound paracetamol, but the UK can ship arms and shipments of tear gas plus bullets. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
We are here to call on the UK government, the Foreign Secretary Lamy, to call for immediate release of all the innocent and the political prisoners who have been kidnapped under this junta. We've got Ugandans in Lusina prison for the last 18 years. They've never been brought to court.
4 years.
18 years. Someone is languishing in a prison in Uganda.
15 years.
This is under this brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. 5 years. We've got our brothers missing. Their children, their women, their families are asking where are the loved ones. The loved ones, those who are lucky, they are being tortured, they are being raped, they are being sodomized, and the unlucky ones, they were dumped in the River Nile. They were dumped in forests. Some of them were fed to the crocodile to destroy evidence. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Let's try to take over. We are here. Hey.
People power.
Power.
People power.
Our power.
The junta, President Museveni of Uganda, who has been the president for 40 years. UK supports the junta in trade. It's not aid, it's trade. And it's so hypocritical to continuously support a dictator. After them so many dividends and killing Ugandans. Those are political prisoners. Edmonton was arrested a week ago, and the son of the dictator was tweeting. And it's so hypocritical that the UK is still dealing with such a government. When the UK government saw it on Twitter, that the junta's son was tweeting saying that he was teaching him his own language. He was boasting how he's going to kill him. He cut off his hair. He shaved off his beard. And he was finding it funny. He was tweeting. The UK saw it. The BBC News spoke about it. CNN, Al Jazeera. But the most painful part is the UK continues to send money to Uganda. Regardless of the fact that we've shown the UK how many people get killed every single day. Not just by natural calamity, but Ugandans are being killed. Opposition members are being arrested simply because they do not agree with the junta. Why does the UK continuously support? This is why we're here. We're British citizens, most of us here, and we're taxpayers. When the UK continues arrested
and now he's in prison after he was tortured for a week. And the son of the dictator wrote it on Twitter. Then the UK surprises us or mesmerizes us or confuses us when they continuously pay money to Uganda through aid. But that's not aid, we know, that's trade. And it's so bloody hypocritical. The UK needs to stop hypocrisy because they're giving money to a dictator. They continuously lie that they're doing trade. Sorry, aid. It's not aid. We know it's trade. They lie that they believe in human rights. But Eddie Mutwe was arrested. The BBC reported about it. UK BBC. But Eddie Mutwe was not taken to hospital. He was taken to prison. This is why we call upon the UK that Eddie Mutwe needs hospital, not prison. He was tortured for a week. He was beaten. He was literally, he couldn't walk. He was limping on his legs. But then it surprises that the UK, after reporting, they got money and sent it to Uganda. Isn't that hypocrisy? The UK government must stop this nonsense. We are saying it loud and clear. It's about time we're going to have this conversation. For once and for all, we're going to have this conversation. Loud and clear. The UK are part of the problem of Uganda. Because you colonized us. Because you continuously have business between UK and Uganda. You, in one way or the other, support the dictator. Yes. You supply him with guns. Yes. You supply him with manpower. Grenades. You supply him with grenades. You give him tear gas. You're giving him the money he uses to arrest Ugandans. Yes. Why don't you stop? How many times do you want us to explain this to you? The son of the dictator last week wrote on his Twitter that he arrested Eddie Mutwe and he's going to beat him. The BBC reported about it. Al Jazeera reported about it. CNN reported about it. The UK got money and said they're helping Uganda. Fuck off. Stop. This needs to stop.
People, power.
Our power.
You know, today we are not here to stop good words. Sometimes, when you squeeze the nose too much, it bleeds. And I won't condemn my colleague, the last word she used. Because really, David Lamy owes me a lot. I paid school fees for the Foreign Secretary. To pay tuition fee. The Foreign Secretary, you owe me. I hated you. You started on money. My dad was a rich man. Yes, people talk now. That was still the same thing. He was being paid for being an MP. It's because of that class that today that's where I come from. Now he thinks that Tottenham never mattered. He thinks that he was going to Chelsea or Kensington. I've met David Lamy Victoria. I said, yes, now. Yes, someone set out him for you. By voting Labour. I'm original conservative. But I thought by voting Labour to power, they'll make a change in Uganda without knowing that the Conservatives were better than Labour under Mr. Keir Starmer and the Foreign Secretary, David Lamy. They've taken the life of Ugandans for oil. They've taken the life of Ugandans for gold. They've taken the land of Uganda for petrol just because of their personal interest in Uganda. They've turned against their own words. Respect of human rights and democracy should prevail around the world. We have human rights in the UK. We have democracy in the UK. Why not in Uganda? Why do you still have to support the brutal dictator who has been in power for 40 years before you were born, madam? You are still supporting him financially, militarily, and politically.
Madam,
Yesterday, Museveni does not represent the future of Uganda. We have people like President Bulaaya said, elected president, where the junta robbed us of our victory. These are the future of Uganda. Not Museveni. Museveni is the man of
that was nice.
When we talk about
It is a crime scene.
Museveni
And
they cannot be the topic of Ugandans because they torture to Ugandans, they've sodomized the Ugandans in form of torture, they've killed the Ugandans in order to silence
bakogere nti mutwani wa dictator ya pushing the pistol behind. Babiyogere niba bye yakoze.
Uganda are being abused. Not to say that 40 years is more than enough. You can't call 40 years in power democracy. It doesn't even represent human rights. We are calling on the UK government to stand with the 47 million Ugandans who are suffering under this brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda. We are calling on the UK government really to stop the training. We are calling about the training of military thugs. This is one of them. A third has trained military personnel who went to the best military academy in the world. When he went back to Uganda, he has turned a monster. He's in charge of those who are torturing Ugandans. Damila Christopher and Muhozi Kanyerugaba, they are both third-class trained. They were trained in the UK to go back to Uganda and torture Ugandans. They were trained in the UK. They are using the waterboarding techniques which the Americans were using in Guantanamo Bay against the terrorists. Ugandans have never been terrorists. Why are we being waterboarded by the trained officials, so-called officials from the UK? That's why we are condemning that the UK should stand with the 47 million suffering Ugandans in condemning the human rights abuses in Uganda. Not to be selling tear gas to Uganda. Not to be selling arms to Uganda. Not to be selling military patrol cars, which are to kidnap our people.
This is in Naman. Baba Alokujako wa Syria to Ramujako.
One of our colleagues.
Good evening, everybody. The people you see here are Ugandans living in the UK, working. They're working at the hospital and make your hospital tick. All I've lived in this country for 35 years. I've paid my taxes. Honestly, I see painful.
How are
you? Money being given to the dictator in Uganda.
People power.
Send all the money back to UK. My thinking is stop funding the dictator. That's the best intervention you can do for us. We can take him on. We are strong. We are well resourced. Resourceful means the people you see here are doctors, nurses, lawyers, cleaners. We can tourism in Uganda. That's all the time you hear the news, 5 tourists killed. But when they get the opposition leaders like me with a beret, we are put in jail. And what happens? The dictator's son, Mohozi, the dictator's son, who is the chief of defense forces, trained in UK in Sandhurst, skilled with the skills of
opposite Commonwealth here, one over with teaching.
Have trained him to kill, maim.
Desmond, is this Commonwealth or that one? Which one is Commonwealth building? This one.
Some of the things and the matters, the photographs are on display here. This dictator of Uganda, his son, Museveni, has done things you would never believe has been done on anybody. You thought Putin was bad, but the dictator of Uganda is worse. All he has is well-placed. The dictator of Uganda in the House of Commons and in the House of Lords, he is well represented. In the House of Lords, he has Lord Pope of Indian origin from Uganda. He does all the soliciting for funds. And there is a first bishop who was one time the Bishop of England, Bishop Sentamu. These people do the soliciting and we ensure the dictator gets the funds. Why am I saying this? Stop fighting for our mother. The people you see here in one t-shirt, every face on the t-shirt has been murdered, either is languishing in jail, or dead, or fed to the crocodiles. This has been going on and on and on. Don't expect we are paupers. We are not asking for our funds. We don't want your money. Stop funding the dictator. We can take him home. We can take him home with his son who has murdered us.
John nalabye kakumondi nga Museveni kigamba tewali muntu ayinza kunzirira mu bigere okuggyako mutabani wange yasobola oyikka okufuga ensi gundi ne banowulira bagashuula nowulira ekyana kibebe kkulu neyagala okukikuba of course kyekyo lwakiba n'empuuga bonna si baganda.
Between life and death now as we talk. The dictator in Uganda has removed proper courts.
Military
courts. You've never seen it. All the people you see here who have not survived the prison go to military courts.
yali asula ku boys quarter za muzeeyi wange nga bamuyita Kalanzi gayono nga tetumanyi nti be Banyarwanda baŋŋamba nti omusajja oyo bw'omulaba kati is not a millionaire but a billionaire. Be baali omwo abajjanga batubaabagga ne babega negamba timujjukira akasajja ako bannange nga tukakwatirwe kyekyo lwaki ASP agamba bannange buli omu aplayinge gundi aplayinge tape ojja kulaba waliwo Omunyarwanda mu family.
You've only done enough damage to us. You've provided and facilitated the military. The picture I see here is one of the commanders who has killed people. Christopher Dagonia is behind the murders and the torture of Ugandans. And the son, somewhere here, is behind the murders of Ugandans. The people you see here in the red beret are not unprofessional. We have jobs to do. We are professional, we are unprofessional, semi-professional, we don't do the jobs. But we've sacrificed time to come and tell you to stop paying for the dictator. We are asking Lame, stop being an armchair slave. Go stop the funds. Stop the funding of the dictator. NUP.
Anywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Kunga, Uganda.
Kunga.
Kunga, Bobi.
Kunga.
Kunga, BOBIWINE.
Kunga.
Kunga, Uganda.
Kunga.
NUP. you be?
everywhere.
Thank you for listening.
Nzijukira bambi nga Kyagulanyi yakatandika.
People power.
Our power.
People power.
Our power.
People power.
Our power.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Our purpose of standing here today is to speak to the UK to stop hypocrisy. I'm going to sing this because they're playing that. They say one thing and do the other. They say they believe in human rights but sponsor people who are abusing human rights. They say that they believe in everyone and everybody, but they do different things altogether. The UK has been part of the problem of Uganda for 40 years. They have been deceiving to us that they're giving aid to Uganda through charity. But that is a lie. They're trading and they're getting something from Africa. When they bring it back here, they leave the dictators to kill Africans. That is wrong. I repeat, that is wrong. Last week, Dictator 7 tweeted on a public domain on X and say that he was going to Edmonton and he had him in his house and touching him. He did that for a week. The BBC News of the UK reported that news. But unfortunately, to my dismay, Edmonton was taken to prison rather than being taken to hospital after being tortured. Then the UK, rather than saying, no, this must stop, they patted Museveni on the shoulder and probably said, well, job well done, by sending money to Uganda for aid. That is not aid. That is trade. And the UK must stop. We are not begging you. We are saying it is only right that the UK stop trading with Dictator Museveni. It's been 40 years. Come on. I have lived in the UK for 26 years and we've had almost 6 prime ministers. And 40 years we still have the same president. And the UK are doing business with the same president. What the hell are you guys telling me that you're not being hypocritical? You are being part of the criminals. No, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to say this for once and for all. If they want to come and arrest me, so be it. If they want to give me a bloody criminal record, so please do. But I have the proof. I've given the UK the proof, and they keep a deaf, blaming ear. So we're not going to have to speak about it. It's about time we talk about it for once and for all. They are hypocrites. They are the ones sponsoring him. They give him the money. They train the soldiers in Sandhurst. I pay the taxes for the junta's people to come here, get trained, go back to Uganda, and kill us. Why don't I talk about it? I have been trained to talk about things, so I can't be quiet. This must stop. Edmonton must be in hospital. Where should Edmonton be?
Hospital.
Where should Edmonton be?
Hospital.
Where should Edmonton be?
Hospital.
Where is he now? Where is he now? Where is Edmonton? Where should he be?
Hospital.
Where should Edmonton be?
Hospital.
Why is he in prison and the UK is quiet?
Yes.
Somebody's going to wonder, what has the UK got to do with Uganda? The UK colonized us.
Yes.
And they have direct business with Uganda.
Yes.
And they sponsor Uganda through blaming trade and
Yes.
call it charity.
Yes.
And they lend money to Uganda.
Yes.
This is why you're caught up in this kerfuffle,
Yes.
in one way or the other.
Yes.
So what do we have to talk about now is UK stop sponsoring the dictator.
Stop.
Simple as.
The dictator.
Stop sponsoring the dictator.
Stop sponsoring the dictator.
Stop sponsoring the dictator. UK? Where's Achille? Where's Gaddafi? Where's Bobi? Where's Machete? Why are they in prison? Because they oppose the dictator.
Yes.
Why is Edmonton in prison? In prison. Where should Edmonton be? Where should Edmonton be? Edmonton, there must be in hospital, not in prison.
Yes.
For as long as Edmonton is in prison, we are going to be here all the time.
Yes.
Until he gets released and given medical care that he needs.
Thank you.
It's his man's right. After he's been tortured, he's taken to prison. And said, is that? Come on, UK. Edmonton was tortured for a week. The son of Museveni, the president, tweeted. The junta's son was boasting about it. And after he had been tortured for a week, he was sent off to prison to torture him more. They want him dead. They killed MP Segirinya. And now they want Edmonton. Why? Why do you sponsor this nonsense? Why do you continuously get entangled in such nonsense, unfairness?
People power. Our power. We are here to ask the Foreign Secretary impose sanctions under the Magnitsky law, whereby the brutal dictator Museveni, the junta of Uganda, his ministers, his children, his friends, they see about in the UK and around the world. Museveni is the richest man in Africa at £13.5 billion. Surprisingly, the UK to long stay the brutal dictator of Uganda. The junta has been in power before all of you are born. For the years of dictatorship in Uganda, for the years of torture in Uganda, where women are being raped, men are being sodomized, we are calling on the UK government to impose sanctions against this brutal dictator. It can't be business as usual. While Ugandans are being tortured, men are being sodomized, yes. Women are being raped, yes. Ugandans are being kidnapped with the help of the UK government. Why? I said so. Your arms, you sent to Uganda. The military patrols, you sent to Uganda. The tear gas, blinding your people in Uganda. The ammunition in Uganda. We don't want ammunition in Uganda. We don't want prisons in Uganda. We want schools in Uganda. Yes. We don't want death torture chambers where men and women are being tortured to death. We want hospitals. Yes. Another funny part of it, the government officials from the junta's government come to the UK for medical tourism. Yes. St. Thomas across the road. Yes. Treat their children. Their children. They are in training to become rapists in Uganda. Sandhurst is training murderers. Sandhurst, the best military academy in the world, yes, is training people how to torture, how to waterboard. We used to hear this in Guantanamo Bay when the Americans were using this technique of waterboarding. Now it's the technique which is being used in Uganda with the help of the UK government. This is a government official hiding his face. If you're a soldier, a major, a captain, a policeman, why do you need to disguise yourself by wearing a mask? By hiding your face?
Who is that?
That means that you're committing crimes against humanity and you don't want your face to be seen. Because we believe that one day, when Uganda is free, all these criminals will be brought to justice. But under the present dictatorship, there is no justice in Uganda. There is no rule of law in Uganda. Civilians have been tried in military courts.
Yes, talk about it.
Women are being tortured under this junta rule. 40 years is more than enough.
Yes.
Museveni must go.
7 months.
Museveni must go.
7 months.
We call on
Yeah,
you
he did,
to stop
he
the
did.
funding, the financing, the promoting, the training of military thugs from Uganda.
Yes.
Because we don't
Robert,
want you to
what is
believe
Roy?
that
Roy.
Sandhurst,
See, Roy.
when you go to Sandhurst to train as a soldier, they are training you how to torture.
Torture.
But might be is one of the techniques, the training techniques. We are asking ourselves as Ugandans, why all those Sandhurst trained military thugs, when they go back to Uganda, they are involved in the torturing of Ugandans.
Yes.
People power.
Our power,
Our power.
people power,
NUP.
everywhere,
Everywhere.
NUP.
Thank you.
Hello. UK. We are called the People Power supporters. People Power stands for the powers of the people, elected by the people, to be governed by the people. But there are some people who are abusing this word. What are we doing here on the streets in London? We are here on the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office. I'll tell you what, I think you better change the name to Foreign Selective Wealth, because it's becoming a selective. They pick and choose where to help. The Commonwealth, Uganda is part of the Commonwealth. Uganda has got stake in the Commonwealth. But like I say, it's a pick and choose scenario here. A selective. People of Uganda are suffering. Believe you me, they are literally suffering. All the placards you see here, all the banners you see here.
Nze nkugambye nasekanga bwe ndawuliranga eby'e Nigeria. Ngamba, Nigeria abantu bayinza okuba balivinga batyo. Oh my gosh. Ekyaffe kiri worse than Nigeria ndowooza.
Foreign Secretary Mr. Lani, you well know, you should know better than anybody else. With your background, you should know better. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be making noises here, but we've got a message to say across. We have responsibilities. We have families. We have friends. Our families, most of the big numbers, are back home in Uganda. But guess what? We can't go back home because there's a big monster in the room. And the monster we're talking about is none other than the imposter. And listen to me right, the imposter in the president's office. There is an imposter in the president's office.
In Junta's office.
Museveni.
Junta, not president. He can't be a
You
president.
people are
He
dealing
can't
with
be.
an imposter. The elected president of Uganda, and listen to me right, he's the one elected, Robert Sentamu Chagulanyi.
Yay! Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, there is one elected president of Uganda today. But unfortunately, he's been denied his office because there's an imposter. And the shame is, there are some foreign interests who are still dealing with this dictator. Unfortunately, UK is one of them.
Shame!
Shame, UK.
Shame, UK!
Shame on you.
Shame on you!
UK is the mother of democracy. What happened? Yesterday, just to remind you, we were celebrating the V-Day, 80 years of freedom from the Nazi Germany. 80 years, we're still celebrating. That is the feeling of freedom. Do you think freedom is just designated for the United Kingdom? No! The whole world needs freedom. All of you listening to us today, let me tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. We've been here long enough. It's time we went back home. But when are we going to go back home? When there's a monster killing, raping, kidnapping, conniving, literally sucking human blood in Uganda as we speak. We're all Ugandans. And we're telling you the truth because we come from Uganda. Whether you want to listen to it or not. We are begging the United Kingdom, please, please, stop dealing with these tyrants, these dictators. You are accumulating debt for Uganda. This man is going to be long gone. He's well beyond sell by debt. He's over 80 years. He's a waste of space, literally wasting Ugandans' hard-earned money, taxes. And not only Ugandans in Uganda, but even we here in the UK. That's why we're so angry. When we're trying to solve a problem, but then somebody is fueling our problem. And who is fueling the problem? UK, the United Kingdom, plus so many other interests. But our interest today is the United Kingdom. We kindly beg you, listen to us. If you've got a minute, come out and talk to us. Don't think we're just wasting time, making noises. We have a message to pass across. Yes. We are tired of people supporting our torture, of people who are fueling the killings in Uganda. We've had all the around the world, so many troubles around the world today. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about Uganda because that's our motherland. Some of us have been away for so long, we yearn to go back home. Guess what? Did anybody find out why the UK pressed the button of Brexit? Did you ever sit down and work it out? I want to tell you one thing that you should know. It was, believe me, whether you like it or not, the issue was immigration. The UK has had enough of the immigrants. And I'm telling you one thing. I'm a foreigner, but a taxpayer. But I don't like what I'm seeing. Because it's high time we went back home. But we're trying our best. We're trying our best to change the status quo in Uganda. And somebody is conniving behind the walls. Lady Foreign Secretary, P.T. Patel, Dollar Sula Government, these are the rotten agents in the UK government dealing with these dictators. When are you going to sit back, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, are we doing the right thing to deny Ugandans their freedom? You gave us independence in 1962, but believe me,
ekyo gye bagenda ne bamalayo wiiki emu ne bajja ne bamalawo emyezi 11 n'ekitundu. What kind of life is that? Those people are naive and silly.
So where are you to check on what you left there?
This is their
Why are
first
you going
home.
silent on issues like this?
N'ebyo ebiyumba bye batasulamu abasinga bafiiridira mu mayumba wano nga bazimbye
Explode
ebiyumba.
our lands because we want to pass a message. Like we say, the man in the office of the president is an imposter. And I repeat this. The man in the office of the president is an imposter. Any dealings with the imposter, Museveni, is up to you. Don't put the blame on Ugandans. Don't put the blame on the British taxpayers. The innocent innocent taxpayers don't know what's going on. The cost of living is sky high on the streets in London today, in the whole of UK. Do you know why? Millions are being shoved around the world to these monsters. They are living a luxurious life and we are struggling here. What language do you want us to use? How can we pass the message across? How long it is going to go on? Stop the brown envelopes. Stop feeding these dictators. Because whatever business you carry out with these dictators is displacing the people around the world. Britain, you have it. Unfortunately, you were an empire at one time. What happened? Now you got problems coming up from India and Pakistan. You have problems creeping up every day. When are you going to prioritize? We are struggling, we are fighting our own battle here. We are fighting our own war. But we would like you to help us to stop the support you're giving them, to condemn the activities that are going on in Uganda, the atrocities that are happening in Uganda. Your silence, and I repeat this, your silence is a sign that you are supporting what's going on. Silence does not justify. Silence is conniving with atrocities that are happening in Uganda. So we kindly beg you, calm down, let's have a normal dialogue. The new elected president, Robert Chagulanyi, HE.BOBIWINE, man, agile, ready to listen, very flexible. I know you call Museveni your ally. What a shame you people. I don't understand you. What kind of ally is he? An 80-year-old man wasted, sell by that gun, and you still call him an ally? Somebody who's killing people. Somebody who's flooding the UK streets with more immigrants. That is what you call an ally. That is what you call an ally. Proper rotten capitalism. What a shame. Divide and rule, yes. Divide and rule. How long are you going to carry on with this? The world has moved on now. The world is well informed. The world is well educated now. It's a matter of sitting down, having no civilized dialogue, and finding what have we got on the table. I'm conniving with somebody who feeds your interests. But your interests, and I repeat, your interests are suffocating the lives of Ugandans, the lives around the world. But today we are talking about specifically Uganda. We kindly beg you. We are not here to beg for money. We are requesting for a dialogue. Have a dialogue with our elected president. Talk to him. Find out what is needed of the Ugandans. You're not going to get a genuine answer from an imposter in office. Because he's been there long enough, he's failed to deliver. But the sooner you get this done, the better for Ugandans. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Everywhere.
Thank you
everyone.
I think we are going to have some little music to cheer us on, because it seems people are really upset about the UK sending our money to the brutal dictator in Uganda. Thank you.
Yes.
before taking power by force.
Yes.
This is a warlord.
Yes.
This is Museveni,
Yes.
the junta of Uganda.
Yes.
This is a man
Yes.
who have been protected by the UK government.
Yes.
This is a man
Yes.
who has been funded, promoted,
Yes.
supported by the UK government.
Yes.
The Conservative
Yes.
played their role because they took business before human rights abuses in Uganda. The same to the Labour government. They promised us they were going to deal with the brutal dictator.
Yes.
But the opposite. They are begging. They are busy negotiating business deals with the brutal dictator.
Yes.
Because Uganda is a very rich country.
Yes.
And now, minerals have been sacrificed for the life of Uganda.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No, it's interest far.
Yes.
But you cannot put Ugandans
Yes.
under this brutal dictator.
Yes.
For the last 40 years,
Yes.
still deal with this brutal dictator.
Yes.
40 years.
40
more than
years
enough.
is enough.
When we count
Yes.
the longest serving brutal dictators in Africa,
It
they are
is.
being supported by the UK.
Yes.
And then you get people running away from Africa,
Yes.
coming to the UK.
Yes.
And the UK government complaining about foreigners
Yes.
in this country.
Yes.
And then support it.
Yes.
But they are playing double standards here.
Yes.
You cannot ship arms to Uganda.
Yes.
You cannot ship arms to Africa.
Ammo.
You don't expect Africans
Yes.
to stand back here where there is safety.
Yes.
Because arms are not for killing animals,
Yes.
are for killing human beings in Africa.
Yes.
We don't use arms to go hunting
Yes.
in the national parks.
Stop funding.
When you go to South Africa,
Yes.
in the Kruger National Park,
Yes.
they don't use arms,
Yes.
but the arms are being used on Ugandans.
Yes.
What I would expect the government of the UK,
Yes.
present government,
Yes.
is to condemn
Yes.
in the strongest words
Yes.
and in action
Yes.
against the brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda.
Yes.
We are talking about the richest man in Africa,
Yes.
the dictator of Uganda.
Yes.
13.5 billion.
Rich.
But my tax money, which I work hard day and night, and your tax money
Yes.
is being sent to Uganda
Yes.
just to make sure that
Yes.
the brutal dictator of Uganda, Museveni,
Yes.
stay longer in power.
The junta.
The junta of Uganda, the dictator of Uganda, Museveni.
40 years.
40 years in power, most of you are not born by the time he took
Yes.
power. And we are under the same brutal dictator,
Museveni.
junta of Uganda.
Yes.
We condemn the UK government
Yes.
for siding,
Yes.
supporting,
Yes.
supporting financially and militarily the brutal dictator. We have posters here.
Yes.
Let me show you an example of why we are condemning why the UK should stop funding this brutal dictator.
Yes.
The first I'm holding in my hand,
Yes.
this man is called Idamina Christophe. He
Yes.
was trained in Sandhurst,
This is the crook.
the best military academy in the world.
Yes.
But now he's a monster in Uganda.
Yes.
He's a monster in Uganda.
Yes.
Raping, torturing, kidnapping, murdering Ugandans.
Yes.
Even the uniform he's wearing
Yes.
is financed by the UK government.
Yes.
Even the clothes he's wearing
Yes.
financed by the UK government.
Yes.
Even the arms and ammunition, they
Yes.
come from the UK.
Yes.
And that's why today we are here.
And the
Personal message.
torture methods are trained by UK.
Sandhurst, they don't train people to become torturers in Sandhurst. They don't train men to be rapists,
Yes.
sodomites,
Yes.
and to torture Ugandans.
Yes.
Right now, the
Yes.
man I'm holding his force
Yes.
is the Sandhurst trained military
Yes.
soldier.
Yes.
By the UK government.
Yes.
I don't want to believe that
Yes.
he was trying to gun torture Ugandans.
Yes.
No. And on that note,
Yes.
that's why we are standing here.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Lamy,
Yes.
Mr. Lamy, you are educated on our money.
Yes.
No, your daddy was dead people Tottenham.
Yes.
Long time.
Yes.
He was served and he worked very hard.
Yes.
Mr. Lamy, you're a lucky man.
Yes.
Everything of yours is
Yes.
on the plate.
Armchair
That's
slave.
why
Yes.
ignoring
Yes.
torturing of Ugandans.
Yes.
Stating that even your dad
Yes.
came to this country because
Yes.
his life was in danger.
Yes.
And he came to seek refuge here.
Yes.
You are lucky that you educated on our money.
Yes.
He didn't pay any school fees.
Yes.
He should be a lucky man.
Yes.
Right now when you go to uni,
Yes.
you have to pay.
Yes.
But he didn't pay.
Yes.
Because why? He takes himself now, he's in the high class.
Yes.
Yes, well and good. The
Yes.
history tells us that you are from Tottenham.
Yes.
Tottenham is not Chelsea or Kensington.
Yes.
You remain the same man. That's why today
Yes.
we come on your door
Yes.
to let you know
Yes.
that you need to condemn the brutalities, the
Museveni in
torture,
Uganda.
the kidnapping, the rape of women in Uganda.
Yes.
The brutal dictator
Museveni.
of Uganda.
Yes.
You cannot lecture democracy and human rights while you support
And finance.
40-year-old brutal dictator.
40
King of
years.
Uganda.
Yes.
7 who has been in power for 40 years.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Stay and talk until my voice, they will take me to St. Thomas Hospital today. But
yes.
I'll make sure that I bring out the message, the anger,
Yes.
the frustration we have against the Foreign Minister.
Yes.
For doing nothing. No action against Uganda. He's busy finalizing business deals in gold, oil, coffee, and uranium.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Noop. Now, we, the people you see here, are Ugandans from different walks of life. They do different jobs. Some are doctors, some are engineers. I am a cleaner in hospital. I'm part of the chain that makes the country tick. I've lived in this country for 35 years and I've paid tax through the 35 years. UK keeps sending funds, taxpayers' money, back to Uganda to fund a dictator who has been in power for 40 years. They have done this year and year again. Most of you who are here listening are barely 40 years. The person you see standing here have paid tax for the last 35 years. And the money from the taxpayers in UK goes to Uganda, to the Ugandan dictator, Museveni. And this money is swindled back to UK, to NatWest, to HSBC, and the fake pastor, Reverend Sentamu. That Bishop Sentamu is a fake bishop. He swindles money with the junta of Uganda. The junta of Uganda, Museveni, and his son. Museveni is the junta, and you probably call him president because you roll out a red carpet for him. He is a junta who has been through selections, which UK calls elections, 6 times. He's no different from the man in Belarus. He is no different from the man in Russia. The Ugandan dictator is not any different from Putin. I don't see why BBC should only care about Putin when we've got a dictator who has been in power for 40 years and is swindled the money you take as grant aid finance. All that taxpayers' money keeps coming back. Getting to the son, the junta is the head of government, Museveni. His son is the commander-in-chief. His brother is the Minister of Defense. His wife is the Minister of Education and Sports. This is a hierarchy. They have built up a small kingdom in Uganda for the last 40 years. It's a family issue. The son to the junta has committed crimes unbelievable. Only this week and last week, he's killed opposition leaders dressed in a red hat like I have. He is done worse evil than you can think of. Look at the news, which doesn't come to BBC. One of the opposition leaders has been tortured in his torture chambers. He can barely walk in court. He's been electrocuted. He's been done the worst evil. I don't want to swear, but he's been done things which are unbelievable. And UK sits back. We have a scenario. If a lion died in the national park in Uganda, BBC would be reporting this day in, day out. There has been 5 murders in Uganda by the junta of Uganda Museveni this week. BBC and all the foreign news have not reported. You mean animal rights and human rights? Which comes first? You care about our animals in the national park. You don't care about humans. When we are going through all this for 40 years, the taxpayers' money, stop funding Uganda. You'd rather not fund Uganda. You are funding our crimes. You train the people who murder us. Sandhurst is a crime spot to Ugandans. We take Sandhurst to be the place that people who torture us are trained to torture and kill us. They don't train the army because the commander in Uganda, the son of the junta in Uganda, Museveni, has murdered every day and is done it this week. You don't get to see this in the media. BBC never covers it. Sky News never covers it. All you cover are animals in the national park. The elephant has given birth to twins. The antelope has climbed the tree. You never report about the murders and the crimes. We've got more jails than hospitals. At the moment, we have got 5 new Chinese jails. In the last 40 years, the junta of Uganda Museveni has never built a hospital. No. But in the last 40 years, he's built 5 Chinese jails. So he doesn't expect people to get sick. He expects to imprison people. That's what I'm leading you to. And UK keeps funding this junta. He is rich. He's got lots of money. NUP everywhere. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Let me come from my brother about Uganda. We are from Uganda, but we've been here. This is part of our country. It's part of my home. I've enjoyed freedom in this country. I would wish that one day I could be free to walk in Uganda like you, the tourists. You are coming from Green Park, coming from Westminster, learning and enjoying London. I cannot do that in the brutal Uganda. I haven't been to Uganda for the last 35 years. Not because I don't like Uganda. I'm scared of my life. Museveni has murdered our family members. I stand here as a single man who was orphaned by Museveni. murdered my dad and mom. My brothers were murdered by the brutal dictator.
Okay.
I'm here as a single man. I started my life here. But this cannot go on and on. The 47 million Ugandans are being tortured as we stand here. I want to call on my colleagues to take 2 minutes silence today before we proceed with our peaceful demonstration in paying respect to the Ugandans who have lost their lives during this brutal junta for the last 40 years. And we are going to pray for those who have been kidnapped and are being tortured as we stand here. We've got pictures of Ugandans who were kidnapped last week, who were kidnapped yesterday. They are being tortured to death. Men are being raped in the death torture chambers. Men are being sodomized. And this is the Uganda under this junta, Museveni of Uganda. We take 2 minutes silence to pay our respect to Ugandans who have been murdered by this brutal dictator and dumped in swamps in the River Victoria. Some have been put in the acid to dissolve their bodies, to destroy the evidence. And this is all. The crimes are being committed in Uganda, but the Ministry of Foreign Affairs mobs and sanitizes these crimes. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, he mobs away the crime. He sanitizes the place to make it look real. And this is happening under Salame. Salame has forgotten that his dad, he came to this country for good pastures. But Salame, he forgot about Africa. He forgot about Uganda, where we are being brutalized on a daily basis. I would like to wear a nice suit like these two gentlemen in my face, but I can't do it because I'm still fighting for freedom in my country. I'm still fighting for human rights in Uganda. But we can't get these human rights unless the UK stop the financing, the supporting, and the training of militias from Uganda. These militias are so lethal that we don't want to believe that when you go to Sandhurst, the best military academy in the world, they are teaching you how to train, to torture, to rape. You know, this is the issue here. We need to find out what sort of training goes up in Sandhurst. We need the UK government to stop the training of military thugs. You call them soldiers from Uganda. Look at this one. Look at this mask. What do you expect? This is a soldier. The mask is bought by the UK government. The uniform is from here. The gun is holding here. Even the and the helmet, they are all funded by the UK government. This cannot be a public servant because he's hiding his face. There's a reason why he's hiding his face, because he's committing crimes against humanity. And he doesn't want his face to be known to the world, because he knows when time will come, they are going to answer for the crimes they have committed in Uganda against Ugandans. People power.
Our power.
Our power. The £1 billion you sent to Uganda, you are funding our torture. You are funding our rape. You are funding our sodomization under this brutal dictator of Uganda, Museveni. 40 years is more than enough. Some of you, the officials from the Foreign Office, this man came to power before you were born. 40 years. How can you convince any Briton, any British, any citizen of this country that 40 years represents democracy? 40 years cannot represent democracy. 40 years represent dictatorship, torture, and repression. And that's why today will stand here. We don't know the whereabouts of the Minister for Foreign Affairs, but we hope that his officials can hear that a group of small Ugandans representing 47 suffering Ugandans in Uganda who cannot stand in the streets in Uganda and demonstrate against this junta, the brutal dictator of Uganda, whom the UK government is giving a £1 billion every year. That is your taxman and mine. We are calling on the UK government to stand with the 47 million Ugandans who are suffering under this brutal dictator. We are asking for the Foreign Office, mainly Mr. Lame, to put sanctions against the brutal dictator and his first family and the officials who are so corrupt that even when you go to the only working referral hospital in Uganda, the cancer machine was donated by the UK government, but the cancer machine is out of service for the last 9 years. But the brutal dictator is the richest man in Africa at 13.5 billion pounds. But the UK still sends our money to help the junta to stay in power. In turn, what are they getting from Uganda? Gold on the cheap, minerals on the cheap. What can I say live? Petrol is being shipped out of Uganda at the lowest price than in Russia. This is all to do because of the junta in Uganda. There is no accountability of what the UK is sending to Uganda, and there is no accountability of what the UK is taking from Uganda. That is the double standard of the UK government. That is the double standard under this present leadership of Labour government, under Mr. Keir Starmer. We thought in Keir Starmer we'll have freedom in Uganda. We thought that under Lame, the Foreign Secretary, peace will come to Uganda. But it all was lie, false promises. Uganda, when we come to power, we as the Labour, we are going to put economic sanctions, Magnitsky law against the brutal dictator. This wasn't to be true. They've gone for business on our lives. They've gone for gold on the lives of Ugandans. They've gone for petrol on the lives of Ugandan women and children. They've gone for all the natural resources from Uganda being shipped over to here with no accountability because they are serving the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. That is it. We are calling on the UK government, the Foreign Office, to stop the training. Our problem is the training of militias from Uganda. When they go back, they are torturing Ugandans to death. We have